Howdy, and hello, Sal's, Volcanoes, and Jorkus days alike. I'm your guide, Q. Welcome to some absolutely horrendous dating stories. I'm excited to get into these. Let's just do it. Alright, first story. Not the worst, but memorable for me. Matched with a cute enough guy on Tinder, and after some banter, we agree to go on a date. I decide on a coffee shop during the afternoon, so it's less commitment than a full dinner. All was well until the day of the date, and he asks where I want to meet. I tell him this cafe and the address, and he hits me with, "Cool, then I can take you there for our anniversary next year." Whoa now, buddy. Weird, but I LOL at him via text, and soldier through it because, well, I'm already dressed. I'm early and he shows up a little late and greets me with a high five. We are in our 20s. He talks a lot about how he faces his fear of death by climbing tall buildings and taking dangerous photos/videos at high heights. I say, "Wow, scary, I could never do that." He says, "Haha, maybe I'll drug you sometime and take you up with a harness and surprise you." A drugged date promise on a first date? No thanks. I'm no longer into the date and feign an excuse about meeting friends for dinner. He offers to walk me home and jokes, "That way I'll know where you live." Jesus Christ. Took a cab home ASAP and he still texted me non-stop asking for another date for weeks. No, bro. No. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I think that what this dude was saying was actually serious and sinister. Some people have edgy senses of humor, and sometimes they involve creepy stuff like this. But I will say, this is the worst approach on a first date you could possibly have. You're only going to creep someone out because as a person in the dating market, you just don't want to take that chance. Why would you go after somebody who's joking about drugging you when you can go out with somebody who is not mentioning that sort of stuff at all? I mean, I don't know. Alright, next story. For context, we matched on Tinder a few months ago, and we've been flirting through texts ever since. Both of us have tried making plans, but we work in the entertainment industry in LA, and things just get in the way. I should preface by saying that, in fairness to her, our plans were last second. We just happened to be texting each other when we realized we're both free. We had a short window before the bars closed. That being said, I chose a bar in her neighborhood so she didn't have to go out of her way, and when I arrived after a 30-minute drive, she said she wasn't coming because her neighborhood isn't safe at night and she couldn't afford a lift. Obviously, I wouldn't want her to put herself at risk, but she had plenty of time to figure that out before I drove all the way there. At that point, she was either catfishing me, or she's just not very courteous. I was hoping she'd apologize, but she didn't. She said she wanted to meet up later, but I told her that would only happen if she reached out to make plans. I explained that I needed to know she actually wants to meet me, and that since we haven't met, I can't actually guarantee she's not trolling me. So she sends me a video of herself. I think it's going to be an apology, but it's actually just to prove that she's real. She goes on in the video to mock me for being concerned that she's catfishing me. I tell her that it's unclear whether or not she's taking it seriously that I was upset. That's when she sends me a YouTube video about what Sagittariuses are like, going on to explain that it's not her fault that's the way she is, and that I need to accept it and work around it. That's when I told her I'm no longer interested in meeting her. Okay, first off, I just want to say it's completely reasonable for anyone to be afraid of getting catfished. It's a scary world out there, and literally anybody can be pretending to be anyone else. Also, I don't personally believe in astrology. I don't hold anything against you if you do, but if you use your star sign as an excuse for your bad behavior, you really need to reflect on yourself and try and work on some stuff, because that is completely unacceptable. I, 19 female, went on a date with this guy who I've known for quite some time. Neither of us had put in the effort to actually get to know each other until today. I'm from a very small town, and this type of thing is pretty common. You know someone, but you don't know anything about them. We matched on Tinder, and that's what got us talking. After talking for a few days over the phone, we decided to go on a date and spend the day together. I've never had so much fun on a date before. I really felt a connection. I ended up sleeping with him, which I originally had told him no, but I changed my mind after that because it was the heat of the moment and I gave in to my lust. After that had happened, he took me out to dinner and we started having a fantastic conversation. Somehow the topic got into racism and how he feels about people who aren't white. "They just make me uncomfortable," he said. I then proceeded to tell him how my mother is half black, and my dad's side of the family is half Mexican. He seemed a bit surprised seeing that I have fair skin and light eyes. He didn't really say much after that. Earlier in the day we had talked about meeting each other's parents, so I asked him, "Would you feel uncomfortable if you met my parents?" He said, "I don't know, that would be something I'd have to think about." And at that moment his entire tone changed. He then proceeded to tell me that I'm not what he wants, and he wants to go out and experience other women before he's serious. It made no sense to me because in the few days he had been talking, all he could talk about is having a wife and wanting to be committed to a woman, and then he changed it to having trust issues. I was very understanding with him and accepted everything he had to say, which he said was shocking to him. Then he said I'm out of his league and that he feels like he won't be able to provide for me and that I could do better. After he gave me that story, he changed it again to, he knows what he wants, but now that it's in front of him, he's scared. While I was extremely gentle with him, I asked him if I had done anything or if it had to do with my biracial parents. He assured me that it wasn't and that I was amazing and that he still likes me, and he emphasized how he isn't racist. Then he took me home and said he really wants to keep me in his life and wants to be friends after today. After dropping me off, I had time to reflect on the day, and I can honestly say that was the best worst date I've ever been on. It's quite unfair to discard a potential love interest based on their family's origins and skin color, but seemingly I'm okay enough to be his friend that he continues to message. This will always be something I ponder. Wow, I can totally understand how you would be deeply disappointed after that date. Like, Jesus Christ, you would think that this would be the perfect opportunity for a racist person to become not racist anymore. They, had an opportunity to see a person of a race that they might have preconceived notions about, that they gave a chance because they didn't realize it was that race, and then they realized, hey, maybe I have the wrong idea about all of these black and Mexican people, but no, it was the exact opposite of that. They met somebody that they really had a connection with, and then decided to cut it off because of their race. Like, what? Alright, this one's super creepy. I can't remember the exact dating site, OkCupid maybe, and I found a guy that I was willing to give a chance to. I'm only 5'2", important info for later. His profile said he was 5'11" and fit. Okay, cool. So we messaged each other for like a week and he seemed normal, so I agreed to meeting with him. We agreed to meet at Subway in a town that was closer to him than it was to me, so for me it was like a 40-minute drive. I think it was like 10 minutes for him. So I'm driving and my phone goes off. I ignore it. It beeps again, so I think it's important. Obviously somebody needs to get a hold of me. Before I can stop at a stop sign, it goes off again. So when I stop, it's messages from him asking if I'm close yet. I tell him I'm 10 minutes out and I'm driving, I can't text. Then, I had to stop at a construction site and wait for them to let traffic go. It took a good 6 to 10 minutes. During that time, I get messages saying, "Are you coming? You said 10 minutes. I thought you'd be here by now. Are you standing me up? I just want you to hurry up and get here." So I finally arrive and the guy wasn't even there. I texted him I was here and he responded with, "I didn't think you were coming, so I left." Like, dude, I literally said I was stuck at a construction site and I would be there. So I wait 5 minutes and he shows up. The minute he sees me, he comes up to hug me, and I'm reluctant because I don't even know this guy, and he's only 1 or 2 inches taller than me. I'm not even joking. Well, when he hugs me, he rubs his half-hard junk on me. I was uncomfortable. So we go inside. I thought because we said we could meet up for lunch at a Subway that we would actually eat. No, he wanted to talk first. Immediately he told me he wants kids, then started saying that if I dated him I couldn't talk to any males at all. I can't go out with girlfriends unless he can come too, he needs passwords to anything I have, which I'm fine with, I've got nothing to hide ever, and a couple other things, but I can't remember exactly what. Finally, we order some Subway, but I have to pay for myself. I eat pretty fast and secretly text my mom to call me for an emergency situation because I needed a good excuse to get out of there. I go to leave and he tries to hug me goodbye, proceeds to rub on me again and tries to kiss me, which I dodge. I leave and my phone starts to immediately blow up. When I get home, I get messages from him like, "Are you ever gonna talk to me again? We should go out again. Why aren't you answering me? Every girl does this to me. Am I blocked now? What did I do wrong? Please don't block me." Needless to say, I blocked him. Creep vibes. Edit. I remembered another thing he said to me. Although it's not really important, it's still messed up. He said that if we ever did the forbidden dance, then according to him, we are dating. He literally said that in his head he believes we are dating after that. I just remembered that it'd work and thought I'd include it too. Well, luckily for you, you won't have to worry about her not holding up on that whole dating if you do the forbidden dance with her, because you're never gonna do the forbidden dance. Damn, dude, this is just so bad in every single way. I can't imagine, like, dealing with this, him rubbing on you, constantly checking in. Just, this is everything that you see here. Don't do that on a date. This is a guide of how not to date somebody. Hey, I don't really talk about this as much as I probably should, but I've got merch over on Teespring, all designed by the absolutely delightful DinoUSB. I will link in the comments and description both the merch site and the DinoUSB Instagram in case you would like to check out their art, because it will improve your life in many ways. I hope you guys are all staying safe, skating on the best of your abilities, drinking a sufficient amount of water. Yeah, I hope you're doing well out there, taking care of yourselves and the people around you. Peace out.